Here we go again. Good evening, good morning, whatever time of day it is for you. Welcome to this thing I am doing called Thor's Entertainment. I'm Thor. This is where I play through games that I enjoy, generally with the goal of retiring them, having the footage of my gameplay to look back on later, and then being able to move on to playing something new. The hijinks are continuing in Gotham. I'm continuing the City of Fear storyline in my Arkham Knight playthrough. This is part 5, and here is my speedy recap of what has happened so far. Scarecrow threatened Gotham City with fear toxin, causing mass evacuation. To keep the city under control, he has partnered with a new Arkham Knight character and hired an army's worth of mercenaries. Together, they have blown up Ace Chemicals, kidnapped Barbara Gordon, and revealed a new tool in their fear toxin plot in Gotham. That tool is something called the Cloudburst. This ambiguous device was built by scientists working for a wealthy pharmaceutical type named Simon Stagg. He had plans of double-crossing Scarecrow and using the Cloudburst and Fear Toxin for his own purposes, but that plan got sniffed out and ruined by the Arkham Knight Scarecrow duo. They broke into his blimps, stole the Cloudburst, and escaped. Each time Batman gets close to Scarecrow, Dr. Crane gets away. Each time the Arkham Knight catches Batman off guard, Batman gets shot, or blown away by the concussion of a rocket launcher. Overall, things are not going well for Batman, but he is not out of it yet. After escaping, Scarecrow broadcasted that Barbara Gordon's location was back at a safe house that Batman was previously at when apprehending Poison Ivy. Seeing this, he now has an opportunity to save Barbara Gordon and get back on the right path of stopping Scarecrow and the Arkham Knight. Knowing that she is now at the safe house, Batman is on his way to try and save Barbara Gordon.
What? We hurry all the way here and Crane's killed her already? He's got no sense of occasion.
We both know fear is theatrics, Batman. So permit me the indulgence of putting on this show.
Ooh. Maybe I got Bagface wrong. Oh, here comes the toxin. I can practically taste it.
What's happening?
Barbara!
Yes, you see it now. The horror behind the glass.
No.
The monster that will be your end. Unless you pick up that gun and deny him.
No.
Don't listen!
Please, no.
Barbara, it's me! Your friend.
You won't get me. I won't let you get me.
You will bring death to all who follow you.
Sir, what's happened?
She's gone, Alfred.
What do you mean?
Barbara. Scarecrow was punishing me. He killed her.
No. Oh, my... Well, sir, we need to focus. The people of Gotham need you.
I should have protected her, Alfred. She's dead because of me.
Sir, please listen. Stagg's files have revealed what the Cloudburst does. It's a dispersal device. Sir, don't you see? Scarecrow has the means to engulf the entire city in fear toxin. You stopped him from making it operational, but it's only a matter of time. Sir, did you hear me?
He heard you. He is wondering how he can live with himself.
Master Bruce, don't let Miss Gordon's death... Don't let it be for nothing.
Oh, you can't bring her back. Let Uncle Jay take charge. No more bad memories, no more pain, no more fear. Scout on her.
Ivy.
Oh, no.
Sir?
Alfred, run a satellite scan of the city. Let me know the instant you locate the Cloudburst.
Of course, sir. Where are you going?
GCPD. Ivy was immune to Scarecrow's toxin.
You think she will help?
She doesn't have a choice.
Such a gut punch of a moment. I guess we will not be saving Barbara.
Batman, what happened at the safe house was not some cruel game. It was necessary. Tonight is about more than Gotham. It's about what you became in that room. The hero who failed. That's what I want the world to see.
I mentioned it towards the very beginning of the first episode of this playthrough, but early on we find out that Scarecrow had locked away Poison Ivy in the same hideout that we just saw Barbara Gordon in. She would not help out with the plan to take down Batman, so Scarecrow just decided to keep her locked away. We intervened and found out that she was immune to Scarecrow's fear toxin. There was no elaborating why that was, and we really didn't take too much note of it at the time. We just apprehended her and took her to GCPD before prioritizing finding Scarecrow over everything else. Now, that little immunity detail could be very important, and it turns out Poison Ivy won't just be written off at the beginning of the game. She's actually going to have a little bit of a purpose.
We're all gonna die! The monster's with you. He's right there! Can't you see him?
What the hell happened on that airship?
Scarecrow took the cloudburst.
I'm guessing that's bad.
Where's Gordon?
He's still looking for Barb. I can't reach him. Tell me you found her, Batman.
Cash. I'm sorry.
No, don't say it. Not her.
If Gordon comes back here, lock him up. He goes after Scarecrow. It only ends one way. I need your help.
From where I'm standing, you need a miracle.
Why didn't the gas affect you?
You are scared.
You would be too if you knew what Scarecrow's planning.
And I should trust you. Why?
Because without your help, every plant in this city will die. About that miracle.
I created a spore to counter the effects of Crane's toxin. It's easy when you know how, and can manipulate plants on a molecular level.
Could it protect the entire city?
Theoretically, but there's no way I can produce enough on my own.
Then let's get you some backup. Where to?
The Botanical Gardens. They're the oldest plants in Gotham. They'll tell me what we need to do.
In the very first episode, we assumed that Poison Ivy got carsick from all of the tank battles. So hopefully Batman was nice enough to clean out the back of the Batmobile before putting her back in there.
Cash. The shutter door isn't opening. What's happening?
There's one big mother of a tank driving around out there. It doesn't look friendly.
Neither do I. Open the shutter door and I'll scan it from the rooftops. See if I can find a weakness.
I'll open it. Try not to get killed.
You know, it might help if I duck instead of just sprinting into the shutter door.
There's the tank. I'll need to scan its hull to find a weakness I can exploit.
Attention all units! Cobra unit dispatched to Sector 3. All non-essential personnel, clear the immediate area. The Batmobile doesn't own these
I need to zoom and focus on the target to scan from this distance. That's the rear scanned. Now I need to scan the sides.
Now, to try getting a clear line of sight on the rest of it.
I watched you on the airship as you nearly tore those men apart. Fear's on us, Dark Knight. It seems a cornered bat may be a killer after all.
That's the right side scanned. I just need to scan the left side. I've already analyzed this section. This section's already been analyzed.
Oh, damn. I wasn't paying attention and the audio was off. Was that the right or the left side? Hopefully I don't have to guess on
I've
this too
already
long.
analyzed this section. This section's already been analyzed. I've already analyzed this section. The Cobra drone has enough firepower to rip the Batmobile to shreds in just a few shots, and its armor is too thick for my weaponry to penetrate head-on. However, there is a weakness. The drone's rear exhaust port leads straight to the power core. One well-placed shot with the Batmobile's 60mm cannon should take it out. I can use the radar to track the drone's movements and get behind it for a clear shot at the exhaust port.
The Cobra tanks are kind of oblivious. Unless you are directly in their line of sight for a few seconds, they're not going to notice you. So you can go at really high speeds nearby one, you can also run over cars directly beside one, it won't matter. They will not notice you, so don't worry too much about sneaking around.
Cobra Scout destroyed. Impossible. We know what caliber rounds he's using. The armor was impenetrable. You can't just roll a single heavy armor unit into the field and expect to crush him under it. He's better than that. Initiate stage 2 attack protocols. Deploy all Cobra units in group formation.
Mr. Wayne, I trust that tank didn't give you too much trouble. I thought you'd like to know that the Batmobile upgrade you requested is ready for installation at the clock tower facility. Assuming the car's still in one piece, of course.
Thanks, Lucius.
Time for a quick Batmobile upgrade detour. Maybe we'll even get an Iron Man suit. And then we'll get back on with the story.
Drone virus overrides the friend or foe identification system of militia drones. An infected drone will target other drones instead of the Batmobile. When deployed at higher...
I'm near the clock tower. Batman's in pursuit. I need reinforcements immediately.
Support is on its way. Hang in there.
Now to get Ivy to the Botanical Gardens.
We're on our way. Hold on.
And while we were just riding around with Poison Ivy again, I had been trying to think of any Poison Ivy related stories and movies, comics, or whatever, just to talk about a little. Despite how recognizable the character is, I'm actually having a little bit of trouble coming up with references to her. I thought I'd have a little easier at the time, I guess I'm just drawing a blank. But I do recall the first time I saw any Poison Ivy anything before. I was a kid watching Batman the Animated Series, and I recall she was introduced in an episode where she was manipulating Harvey Dent, who still had a full face at the time. I cannot remember the exact angle, but I recall him being the target, and she was using her classic controlling men Poison Ivy gimmick. Then you find out that she has the plant powers at the end of the episode, and it was just awesome. It's a cool ability, and the only other character I can think of that has that same type of ability is Swamp Thing. It definitely had a lasting impression, but I wish I could remember a little bit more about Poison Ivy. Well, besides Uma Thurman. And now that I'm thinking about it, I definitely spoke too soon when I said I couldn't think of anything to talk about Poison Ivy a moment ago. Now I'm actually reminded of a part in the Batman Hush comic series that involves Poison Ivy, and I think it's pretty cool. In the Batman Hush series, she ends up using her abilities to manipulate Superman, and whenever Batman goes to Metropolis, this leads to conflict where Superman is trying to kill Batman. Under her influence, it turns into a fight between the two, and by a fight, I mean Batman is basically running for his life, because what can he actually do to Superman? The best offensive plan he can come up with is using his kryptonite ring against him, and that kryptonite ring really doesn't even the odds at all. Like, he can technically hurt Superman with it, but when using it, he almost breaks his hand just punching him, so it didn't really slow down Superman very much. In the end, it's not like Batman just gets ripped in half by Superman. They end up figuring it out, Batman survives, and, well, I don't think you could call the end of the Batman Hush comic a happy ending, but for the moment, you know, it was alright for him. If you're wondering how Poison Ivy managed to manipulate Superman, one of the most powerful beings on Earth, she ended up having lipstick laced with kryptonite, as I remember. So using that, she was able to lower his defenses enough to use her man-manipulating powers that she typically uses against people. She doesn't have a huge part in that series, but that part by itself is pretty cool and mention-worthy. And I'm going to start thinking about things that involve Poison Ivy right now, so that I can begin talking about those throughout the episode and kind of highlight her as a character. I'll probably throw in some other stuff along the way, but we'll try and make this a Poison Ivy-centric episode.
We're here, Ivy. What now?
Look at her. She's been here since before man walked the earth. She still holds great power, but she's weak. Poisoned by decades of pollution. She won't be able to fight Scarecrow's toxin on her own.
Then we need another.
There aren't any left like her. Not anymore.
What happened?
What do you think? Man, you cut them back, built over them, stopped them from reaching the sun.
If I can locate the roots, could you revive them?
They're lost. Buried beneath this concrete monstrosity. How will you...
The bigger the plant, the deeper the root. You wait here. I'll find a way to break them free.
I think Poison Ivy got substantially less whiplash this time in the Batmobile. I guess I'll just have to try harder next time.
Lucius, I need a way to track an ancient root system. It's deep underground.
I'm sure I can throw something together, but it may take me a little while. Come to Wayne Tower when you're ready.
Thanks, Lucius. Alfred, give me an update on Gotham's Most Wanted.
Let's see. Nightwing has been tracking another of Penguin's trucks. This will undoubtedly lead to another cache, and a chance to rid the city of Cobblepot and his flood of weapons. We also have a robbery in progress at the Bank of Gotham in Chinatown. Surveillance footage confirms that the perpetrators are known associates of Two-Face. Perhaps Mr. Dent has misplaced his coin. Whatever his reason, he needs to be stopped.
Thanks, Alfred.
Two-Face and Penguin loose in our city? We need to show them who's boss. So, whose throat are we gonna slit first?
Alfred, I'm heading to Wayne Tower parking garage. Let's see what Lucius has come up with to locate Ivy's plant.
Mr. Fox hasn't failed you yet, sir?
I've mentioned it before, but I'll be doing all of the side missions separate from this City of Fear playthrough. So, people like Penguin and Two-Face are just gonna have to wait their turn.
Lucius, open the parking lot entrance.
I thought you were here already, Mr. Wayne. Must be a glitch in the system. I'll get that checked immediately.
I guess Bruce Wayne just does not care about his employees' vehicles.
Mr. Wayne, the perimeter's been breached. We have some uninvited guests.
Not for long.
I guess the Arkham Knight just does not care about Wayne Enterprise vehicles either. Man, it sucks to work for this company. Oh, now the pressure is on. A fairly easy tank battle now has high stakes as my controller battery is dying. What if the controller battery dies and I am just getting shot at while I make a mad dash to grab another charged controller? Oh wait! That wouldn't happen. That controller disconnect message would just pop up and stop the game. Well, let's not let that lessen the stakes. What will happen first? Batman destroying all the tanks or my controller disconnecting? It's a race against time with dire consequences, kind of. If I fail to complete this in time, I'll have to face the sheer agony of having to edit out the awkward mid-battle disconnect from the video. Please, don't let it be. worst employee parking ever.
He just took out the drone unit at Wayne Tower! That appears to be the last of them, Mr. Wayne. Your upgrade's ready for collection. I'm outfitting the Batmobile with the latest in ground-penetrating sonar, Mr. Wayne. Just fire out a pulse, and the onboard computer can generate an image of what you've scanned below. And yes, it's sensitive enough to detect long-dead plant roots.
I'm just imagining someone else parking their car in this spot by mistake at the worst possible time, and then they get lowered in here instead. Suddenly, a 1998 Honda Civic has a sonar that can detect plant roots.
Lucius, we can't risk another incursion. Lock the building down and transfer remote production to Alfred.
Consider it done, Mr. Wayne. Good luck with the, gardening.
Master Bruce, I'm afraid those drones were just the beginning. I've detected a significant redeployment of vehicles from Founders Island into the north and south of the city. It seems the Arkham Knight is tightening his grip.
I'm ready for them, Alfred.
Very good, sir.
Drone down!
Now there are going to be way more tank battles and driving around, so it is time to decide on a new character or group to rant about. This time I'm going to go with the Suicide Squad. There is a new game coming out, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. And while it may not be a direct Batman Arkham game, I think it is supposed to take place in the same Arkham video game timeline, so hopefully that's true and the Arkham series can kind of sort of have some new life after 10 years. The playable characters I've seen are Harley Quinn, King Shark, Deadshot, and Captain Boomerang. I like the character choices and I hope the game is good. Those four are among my favorite Suicide Squad members, so I'm looking forward to it. During the next lull, I'll get into why I like those core characters in the Suicide Squad specifically.
It feels weaker. You must be further away.
Ivy!
They're attacking my plant! Protect her!
Keep firing! Bring it down!
Yes, sir. Establish a perimeter. No one gets on this roof.
I can make her bark harder than steel, but I need time!
I'll protect it.
Well, Ivy says she can make something hard. I love a dumb innuendo, but I think that one might be a little too easy. Anyway, the Suicide Squad was a comic run I picked up back when I really started to get into comic books again. This was during the New 52 days, so you will hear me reference that time frame a lot when it comes to comics. During the New 52 Suicide Squad run, Harley Quinn was added to the team for the first time. We got old characters returning to the reboot of the team like Deadshot and Captain Boomerang. I also found out that I love King Shark for no real apparent reason, but I want him to succeed more. Give me more King Shark. Oh, wait. They did. He was in James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie, and he was awesome. Keep doing that. Anyway, this was the version of the team I grew to really like, and I think it will always be my favorite just because it was the first one I got into. So when I picture the team in my head, I always kind of have those characters in mind. For that reason, I'm really glad to hear that they are going to be the playable characters, and I'm really wanting the game to be good. I'll probably play it regardless if it's good or bad, but still.
It's done. She's fully mature. She should be strong enough to neutralize Scarecrow's toxin.
Let's hope we don't need to find out. Stay in the gardens, Ivy. I'll let you know if the situation changes. Alfred, tell me you found the cloudburst.
I wish I could, sir, but I'm encountering rather a lot of interference. No doubt a deliberate attempt to disguise their movements.
Run a full analysis of the Arkham Knight's forces.
Of course, sir, but I'll need some time.
Upload the data to the Bat computer in the movie studios when you're ready.
Yes, sir. In the meantime, there are numerous open cases yet to be investigated.
Alfred, I'm heading to the movie studios. Prepare the analysis of the Arkham Knight stronghold on Founders Island. It's time we took the fight to them.
Very well, sir.
Oh, speaking of that rant I had about the New 52 reboot back in the day, Poison Ivy was also briefly a member of the Birds of Prey team with Batgirl. Kind of a cool callback and noteworthy since Pamela and Barbara are both pretty big parts of this episode. The Birds of Prey is generally an all-woman team of bird-themed heroes, but that opened up to other women on the hero and anti-hero spectrum after a while. Early in New 52, that included Poison Ivy trying her hand at no longer being a villain. Writers have gone back and forth on that since then, but it was a cool direction at the time. Also, if your only familiarity with the Birds of Prey is the Harley Quinn movie, I swear there are better versions of the team than that. Just maybe give the comics a try. Nothing against anyone acting in that movie, but it was a bad movie. I don't necessarily think that's their fault. It seemed like they were doing the best they could with what they were given.
Just think. Robin's down there right now, planning his life with Barbara. Probably thinking of names for all the little rugbats they'll have. What a lucky boy. She is so lovely. Although just a teeny tiny bit on the dead side for my tastes.
Sir, how are you going to tell Master Drake about Barbara? He'll be devastated. He could do something dangerous.
I'm not. Not yet. I need him focused on the cure.
Sir, it was bad enough keeping Miss Gordon's abduction a secret. But this, it's wrong.
We have to make sacrifices, Alfred.
Consider those sacrifices wisely, sir. If he finds out she's gone and you didn't tell him, you will lose him forever.
It is a real dick move not to tell him, but it should have been clear from all the years of child endangerment with multiple Robins that he does not care how they feel or what happens to them. He can just adopt a new one.
Good to see you, Batman. I'm guessing this isn't a social call. Is it as bad as it sounds out there?
Worse.
Faith,
But nothing you can't handle, right?
all of them. I'm telling you, Bats. Now I know how Elvis felt. You know, after he died.
How many more tests can you possibly need?
Calm down, Henry. We're trying to save lives here.
I will not calm down. I've had enough of your prodding and poking, locking me up with these maniacs. You have no right to keep me here. No right!
Trust me, you're safer in here than out there. We'll be done in a few hours, if you cooperate. The information you requested is here on the back computer. It doesn't look good.
Sir, the long-range scanners have not been able to locate the cloudburst.
Deploy the Batwing and run a low-level thermal scan.
We can't, sir. Founders Island is protected by 2 radar towers connected to a long-range missile launcher. You won't be able to get the Batwing, or indeed the Batmobile, anywhere near there.
I can destroy the radar towers on foot, if we can just find a way to disable the drones protecting them.
Well, there is one possibility. I've identified a special drone that appears to be acting as a relay hub managing all communications.
If I can get my hands on that drone, there's a chance we can reverse engineer the security protocols and give me a window to take out those radar towers.
A chance, perhaps, sir. But it sounds dangerous. Too dangerous.
It's the only way. I'll keep you updated.
I still haven't heard from Barbara.
Trust me, Robin. She's fine. I need you to focus on the cure.
You don't have to do this on your own, Bruce. I can help you.
It's under control. We need that antidote.
We're getting there. It won't be long now. Look, if you need help, you know where to find me.
I thought for sure you were going to tell him. Come clean like you did with Gordon. Ah, but you realized. Why break him now when we can crush him later? It's classic Joker. Something truly beautiful is happening, Bats. I've been rooting around in this bat-infested cave of a mind, and it seems like you actually believe this cure nonsense. Oh, Bruce, forget about the cure. You just concentrate on taking out the Arkham Knight. It'll be your swan song. The last good thing you'll ever do.
Actually, now that I think about it, Poison Ivy even ended up on the Suicide Squad for a bit, I think. I'm pretty sure she did have some time on the team right around the time the Rebirth version of the Suicide Squad kicked off. For anyone who does not know what I'm talking about when I say New 52 or Rebirth, DC Comics likes to reboot their timeline and start the whole comic universe over again, and that takes place about every 6 years or so. New 52 was when they started all of their comics over again and reset the timeline for their characters in like the early 2010s. It let them reimagine some old stories and teams and add some new stuff, like introducing the Suicide Squad again and acting like it was the first time the team was ever created. And then you also get to have entirely new characters on the team. Oh, also, Amanda Waller was perhaps her most badass in this run, having a backstory of having been on the same military team as Deathstroke, and I'm all for it. It wasn't all amazing, but it had plenty of good moments. They rebooted things again in like 2015, 2016, but this time instead of New 52, it was called Rebirth. Then suddenly the team got redone and again added characters. And this time it was Poison Ivy, Killer Croc, Enchantress, and they kind of wanted to make it line up more with the first Suicide Squad movie that was released around the same time.
It's not a bomb, it's a delivery.
The relay chip will allow me to temporarily blind the drones. That should give me enough time to take out the 2 radar towers. I need to destroy the radar before the drone comes back online.
Fortunately, I've been able to pull it together, and I've spent a lot of time talking about Poison Ivy this episode. So I'll try to make this my last Ivy rant. The last thing I recall reading with Poison Ivy in it was the Harley Quinn solo series that kicked off towards the end of New 52.
Heard what the Knight said. All units, we've lost radar coverage in Sector 1. Probable malfunction. I'm assigning tech now. Relay that order. It was Batman. Radar Tower B, prepare yourselves. Alpha target incoming.
It was an entirely comedic run of comics that a lot of DC characters would randomly pop up in. Like, of course, Poison Ivy, and characters like Batman, but also other characters like her Suicide Squad partner Deadshot. Then there were the really out there team-ups like with Power Girl. Anyway, even though she was not the focus of the comic run, Poison Ivy was in the Harley Quinn solo series quite a bit. The Harley Quinn HBO series seems like it borrows a lot from that run of comics, and I think that is also where we see Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy being a couple for the first time. I'm a little iffy on if that's when that started, so I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was. But yeah, Poison Ivy ended up with a lot of different teams and has been portrayed a lot of different ways over the last 10 years or so. Almost always overlapping with Harley Quinn in some way. That is even true in this series of games now that I think about it. In the Arkham Asylum game, it was Harley Quinn who broke out Poison Ivy. In this game's lore, prior to being captured by Scarecrow, Harley Quinn broke out Poison Ivy from the Bloodhaven Police Department. Actually, saying all that out loud, Poison Ivy is consistently in an arrested or detained state in these games. She's important and all, but she is captured like 70% of the time in hindsight. Yeah, face-palmed into unconsciousness.
Oh, Bruce. I know how you feel about this Arkham Wannabat. The same way I feel about those cheap Joker knockoffs you've got at the movie studios. There can only be one Joker, Bats, and it's me. I mean, you. Okay, us. Time we did the right thing. Massacre the lot of them, and purify
I can use the
Joker
remote
clean.
hacking device to temporarily blind the sentry gun.
Even now they look to you. The impotent authorities, the cowards who fled, all eyes, all upon a man who fails his friends.
Who set fire to a fire station? I don't know. Someone with a sense of humor.
Alfred, I've dealt with the radar.
Now there's just the trivial matter of the long-range missile launcher. Once it's been taken care of, I can deploy the Batwing to scan for the cloudburst.
I'm heading there now.
We've lost the second radar. He bypassed the sentry guns. How is that possible? Just keep the missile launcher in play. I control these skies. Both radars are down. He's coming for us. Let him. He's used to fighting street punks. They're scared. I'm not. Don't underestimate him. So the Knight keeps telling us, you're all giving the Bat too much respect. You think he lasted this long on luck? Yeah, and it's about to run out.
Whoa, okay. Almost screwed up there, but didn't get spotted, so I got lucky there.
This thing actually works. I'm trying
With
to
this
lock
being
onto
episode
signal.
5, we are over halfway through the City of Fear storyline. So this will be over before we know it. Then, there are just the side missions, but most of those are going to be like 20-minute videos and way shorter than these. After that, I'll be trying to decide on which game I want to do next, and make the highlight of Thor's Entertainment. I am really enjoying the DC superhero talk and reminiscing, so I think I have decided to do a final playthrough of the original Injustice and retire that game next. I'm not trying to make this a DC Comics gameplay series, but I am having fun with it, and I wouldn't mind continuing a comic theme for a little bit longer. Plus, Injustice gives me the chance to highlight a lot of the characters we've been talking about just a little bit more. I mean, we get more Batman, we get Harley Quinn, Joker, Nightwing. We also get some people I've been ranting about, like Lex Luthor and Aquaman, so it'll be fun. I have not touched the original Injustice in years, so hopefully I haven't forgotten the mechanics too much. I think I'll actually deliberately not practice and just wing it and amuse myself while struggling to figure out my characters. Stay tuned for that. Besides just the story mode for Injustice, I suppose we could also do some tournament mode. I don't know for sure if I'll explore that or record that. If I do, it definitely won't be every single character. It'd be a little bit fun though, just to break out a few that I like. For instance, I know I will do a Deathstroke tournament run. That's my favorite character in Injustice and the one I put the most hours into for sure. Besides him, we could definitely pick and choose a few from the story mode, just highlight the main characters of that game. Off the top of my head, there are some from that roster I would not touch if I do a tournament run. Like, I'm not doing Solomon Grundy. I'll probably skip Hawkgirl. I don't really have a preference for Ares of any kind. I'll also skip Scorpion since it's not really a DC character in that game. Nothing against any of those characters. They're all pretty cool in their own way. I just don't really care for their gameplay. I would much rather be playing someone like Deathstroke.
Gamma 4 status. Gamma 4, do you copy? Sir, he's going for the defense shield.
Or bust out Green Lantern or Batman. And I also wouldn't mind maybe using some Sinestro or at least a couple of the downloadable content characters like Zatanna or Martian Manhunter.
The armor on the missile launcher is too thick for me to penetrate. I need something with a little more punch. It's being protected by a defense shield. I can lower it in the control room. I'll stay in the control room and bring the car in remotely. I can't let the militia get in here and re-enable the defenses. Alfred, I need you to lower the bridges.
Of course, sir. I see you're making full use of the Batmobile's remote guidance system.
Sir, Batman's lowering all 3 bridges into Founders Island. He's bringing the car to destroy the missile launcher. Deploy strike team Delta to target location now. Yes, sir. What about the Batmobile? Activate the Cobra Squadron. Right into the ground.
Jeez. The last video had a lot of dialogue and plot points, so I did not have to do too much talking. Now I am constantly talking, so enjoy the sound of my voice some more. We're stalking Cobra tanks. So I pretty much decided that the next game I'm going to play is Injustice, and it got me thinking about NetherRealm Studios. NetherRealm Studios makes both the Injustice video game series and Mortal Kombat. Recently, it was revealed that Mortal Kombat 12 is going to be coming out this year, or is planned to. I'm not a fighting game expert by any means, but I love both of those franchises. Depending on the pace I get started out with these videos, it would be really cool to upload Injustice 1 and 2, then move over to Mortal Kombat 9, 10, and 11, all in preparation for Mortal Kombat 12. I already know I am going to be getting that game day 1, whenever it's released, and I will be putting plenty of hours into Mortal Kombat 12. I'm really excited. I know that's Mortal Kombat, and this is mostly a comic book themed playthrough, but I'm looking forward to it, and I just want to talk about it. So stay tuned for all of that if those games are up your alley, because it is entirely possible that we'll be playing through most, if not all, of their story modes. Similar to the Injustice conversation we had earlier, I'd also consider doing some of the tournament modes on Mortal Kombat 10 or 11 as well. Again, I have no intention of doing every single character in tournament mode. That's a lot, and I don't want to get familiar with all those characters again. At one point, I was pretty familiar with them, but trying to relearn all that's not all that fun, especially at this point with a new game coming out. Some of the characters I'll definitely be playing if I do that. For Mortal Kombat 10, Takeda. He was my favorite character in Mortal Kombat 10, so using him again would be a lot of fun. In any of the games, Scorpion or Sub-Zero is just a must. I mean, they are the most iconic characters in Mortal Kombat. Johnny Cage, same thing. One of my favorite characters. I enjoy playing Johnny Cage. In Mortal Kombat 11, some Cabal will be a lot of fun. Ooh, going back to Mortal Kombat 10, Reptile for sure. Back to Mortal Kombat 11, Frost. I enjoy playing Frost quite a bit. And we'll give Kano some love. I mean, you just kind of have to. Well, you don't have to, actually. I think a lot of people don't like Kano at this point, but yeah, I still enjoy playing him. Oh, also Mortal Kombat 11, Scarlet. Scarlet's a lot of fun. Characters I will not be playing. Let's see here. Mortal Kombat 10, Tanya. I'm not really a big Tanya fan. I would also skip Shinnok. His gameplay doesn't really interest me much. Even Bony Hands Shinnok, who just looks funny. I'll probably also skip Kung Jin. I like the team that they have with all the kids from all the old legacy Mortal Kombat characters, but he was probably the gameplay I just didn't enjoy out of the 4 the most. I'd like to see him redone in the future, but I'll skip him for Mortal Kombat 10.
He's mine.
You got me. Okay, I give up.
Where'd he go? Raise the defense shields. Keep all access points covered.
Oh, seriously? He heard you boys coming from a mile away. Those pointy ears aren't just for show, you know.
Sir, the launcher is secure. As long as we control the skies, he'll never find it.
Good. Are we still on schedule?
We're entering the final phase.
Your patience will be rewarded.
Mortal Kombat 11 on the skip list would be, let's see here, probably skip the Collector, probably skip Devora, not really a big Devora guy, and probably Jade won't make the cut either. And kind of the same statement I made with the Injustice characters. It's not that there's anything wrong with these characters per se. I either just don't like their gameplay, or I don't really want to relearn them. There's just other characters I prefer to play as. Circling back to that, other characters I'd like to play as before I close this out, Aaron Black and Ermac for sure. I'm looking forward to playing those if I ended up doing any sort of tournament play. But I kind of went off on a tangent here. Let's get back to Batman Arkham Knight. Jeez, we are getting in a lot of damage with these interactables. Oh, and this is a Queen Industries building. Our boy Green Arrow is going to be pissed. The episode is going to be nearly over after this fight, so we're going to go ahead and start the outro here. After going over an hour in the last episode, this one should very comfortably be in the range of 45 to 60 minutes like we wanted. We will be closing out the episode on a major plot point that foreshadows what the next episode is going to be focused around. So, stick around for that.
The Arkham Knight. Tell me you have a name.
I don't, sir. Of the few Arkham Asylum patients who weren't recaptured and sent to Arkham City, none appear capable of organizing and leading such an assault.
He's not a ghost, Alfred. He's got training and a grudge. Widen the search to include anyone ever committed to Arkham because of me.
Sir?
You heard me.
That's a great many individuals, sir.
I know, Alfred. I'm trusting you to narrow it down.
Also, a quick recap. The episode started off with us unfortunately losing Barbara Gordon and being unable to save her. We then made Poison Ivy our last hope and defense against the fear toxin, opting to help her bring to life ancient plants that hopefully can combat the toxin. After that, we began lowering the Arkham Knight's defenses. Those same defenses were preventing us from being able to use the Batwing to search for the Cloudburst. After this fight, there will be nothing preventing the Batwing from hunting it down, and then we can more effectively search for Scarecrow's newest weapon. We will also continue our ongoing pursuit of the Arkham Knight and search for his identity. In the end, the hijinks have been promoted to shenanigans, and it's going to be a fun time seeing how they unfold.
Alfred, the Arkham Knight's missile launcher is destroyed. I'm calling in the Batwing to start searching for the Cloudburst. Upload the results to the clock tower once it's complete.
At this point, the Batmobile can access all 3 islands, so that means more available side missions can be completed entirely. The ones that come to mind are Two-Face, Penguin, Firefly, the Firefighters, and the Perfect Crime side missions. So if you're looking to get a little sidetracked off the main story or you need some more experience, this is one of the best times you can go ahead and get these missions done besides the post-game.
Very well, sir.
But Penguin hates Two-Face, man. He used to round up Harvey's guys and make them play Umbrella Stand. What's that? They had to stand perfectly still, right? With Penguin's umbrella hanging out of their mouth. And if they dropped the umbrella, he'd use it to beat them to death.
Identity confirmed.
Alfred, pull up the footage from the Batwing's onboard scanner.
Certainly, sir. As you can see, the Batwing has completed an orbital sweep of Founders Island, but there's still no sign of the Cloudburst. I will, of course, let you know when the situation changes, but one moment, sir. I'm receiving an emergency broadcast from the movie studios.
Batman, I hope you can hear this. The movie studios are under attack. Robin is in trouble.
Listen to me very carefully. You need to lock down that room. We can't let the infected get out.
Of course. Tell me what...
Henry!
That's enough from you! Well, look who's too late to save the day. How's it going, Batbrain? It's been a while.
Harley Quinn.
So you do remember me. That's weird, because you killed the only thing I ever loved. And now I find you've been keeping a whole new generation of Jokers to yourself. I know. Awkward.
Don't do it. They're not stable.
Oh, they're not stable? Maybe you want to take a look in the mirror sometime.
Alfred, I need to get to the movie studios.
Please be quick, sir. Miss Quinn is clearly volatile. Robin may be in serious danger.
Oh, I told you we should have butchered that bunch of second-rate tribute acts. They'd better not kill Robin Bats. I had the idea first.
Since I already pre-gamed the outro, there's not too much more for me to cover here. We talked about her quite a bit this episode, and now we are off to stop her at the movie studio. Harley Quinn. She is going to be our focus in the next episode. That means Scarecrow and the Arkham Knight now have to take a back seat. The Mad Widow is trying to release virus-ridden people into the public where no one is ready for the outcome, like this is 2020 all over again. Until then, thanks for watching this episode, and I hope you have found some amusement with Thor's entertainment. Take care, and I'll see you next time.